Hello, everybody. How are you guys doing on today? I am super duper excited. First of all, she is no stranger to the cafe, guys. It is the one, the only, the queen. Vanessa Riley is hanging out with us today. And guys, I can, yes, put your crown on. I can literally say she's back. And guys, she is back with a good one. It is a wager at midnight. If you guys know, this is book two. The first one is A Gamble at Sunset. And y'all know I fell in love with these sisters with A Gamble and Sunset. And then bam, here go Vanessa with the second book in the series. And she may spill a little tea, guys, all that good stuff. But before Vanessa introduced herself, I gotta say it. Like, tag, and share, my friends. Tell a friend to come on down to the cafe because we are hanging out with the one and only Vanessa Riley, and we are talking all things A Wager at Midnight. So while you guys are doing that and you're telling your friends, you're grabbing your tea, you're grabbing your biscuits, aka cookies, all that good stuff, come on down to the cafe. Vanessa, introduce yourself to the people, my friend.
Well, I am Vanessa Riley. I write historical fiction, historical mystery, and historical romance. Got started in historical romance. This is actually book number 26,
Yay!
and I'm just excited to be here. I'm excited to share these stories. You will find my stories are very different. They're not your typical ones you would find. I choose heroes and heroines that some folks might overlook, and I bring them to the forefront, and hopefully you have a good time enjoying the frolicking, the foolery, or just learning about some good history.
I love it. I love it. And Vanessa, I'm glad that you brought that up about your stories and the stories that you bring to us. I mean, you bring us Regency like no one has done. I mean, you gave us the a Duke, the Lady and the Baby. Y'all know that's a whole series. If you haven't read it, go check out her backlist. You will fall in love with those characters. And Vanessa is doing it again with these sisters. And like I said, I Gamble at Sunset is the first book in the series. The second one is A Wager at Midnight. Now, let me just tell you, okay, if you just stumbled upon A Wager at Midnight and you started reading it and you are enjoying it, it's okay. Enjoy it. But let me tell you, you're gonna want to go back. You're gonna want to go back to book one, A Gamble at Sunset as well. And Vanessa may tell us a little bit about it, just for those who may be new to the series as well. And then let me just tell you, the book that's coming next, I'm super excited about that one too. But tonight, boys and girls, we are talking about A Wager at Midnight. And so, Vanessa, for those who may be new to this series, okay,
Mhm.
can you let us know a little bit about what inspired this series? We're gonna kind of bring them up to book two, okay? What
Okay.
inspired this series that will have you, it will have you in stitches at
Yep.
times.
Mhm.
It will have you clutching your pearls at times. It will have you there will be some wow moments. There will be some moments that you're talking to the characters. I mean, there's scandals. I mean, it is everything. Okay. But what inspired this series and these three sisters?
First, I love a family saga. So I love showcasing drama within the family, but in a way that you might not have seen before. These sisters love each other fearlessly, but they got issues with each other. And it's complex, and it changes the dynamics. And then when you're the Regency, there's these unwritten, but they're kind of written down rules of how you're supposed to act and who you can interact with and these sorts of things. And it just causes problems when you're bound and determined to do things your own way. And Scarlett, she's technically the middle sister.
Technically, yeah, we're gonna leave it at technically. You gotta read the book to find out,
Middle
but
sister,
technically.
right? She has two older sisters. One is Lady Hampton, who basically married the wrong man and screwed up everything under the sun,
Everything.
everything. But she's very, very, very proud woman, so she doesn't want to admit that she's made mistakes. And in the background of all of this, her ex is on the scene, and he won't go away. No matter how mean she is to him, this man will not leave. He is in it to win it, and he's in the background. And he's befriended both of the younger sisters. So in book one, he's Georgie's advocate. Georgina is a runner. She wants to run away from problems. She feels the impact of Lady Hampton's choices the most because now she has to marry well in order to save the family, and she's ticked about that. And something happens, and she just goes a little nutsy, and she kisses the first man she sees, which is Lord Mark. And it's in the middle of a garden, and there's reporters walking around because the Duke is holding science meetings because he's very much wanting the science community to find answers to chronic diseases and chronic illnesses. But that's taboo. An unmarried woman, an unmarried black woman, kissing a noble's son in the middle of a garden with newspapers. I mean, it's a hot foolery mess.
It's already
Yes,
scandalous.
yes. And there are some in there who just like, ooh, this is a fling. That's just a fling, and they want to make her sound like she's cheap and tawdry. So they
Yeah.
actually have to fake date in a fake court in a gamble at sunset to get out of this. But in
Mhm.
romance world, that's just reasons for them to be together and figure out that they are actually meant to be. So
I love it. I love
yeah.
it. And guys, we will be sharing with you how you can get your hands on a copy of Wager at Midnight, as well as we'll tell you again of how you can get a Gamble at
Mhm.
Sunset as well. Guys, if you're joining with us, we are hanging out with the one, the only Vanessa Riley on today, guys. Her new release, A Wager at Sunset. And guys, let me just tell you, I spill a
Wager
little bit.
midnight.
Oh,
Midnight.
a wager at midnight, a gamble at sunset. Okay, we we,
Yeah.
we already had
Y'all see the
sunset.
theme,
Now
right?
it's midnight.
Gamble at
Okay, a
sunset.
wager at midnight.
Wager at
And let me
midnight.
just tell you, a lot happens during the late hours, midnight hours of this book. Some of it is all in the name of research. We'll just say that it's all in the
Yes.
name of research. I mean,
Yes.
she ends up in a brothel, but
Yeah.
she was working. She was working, guys. She was working, all of that good stuff. And so, Vanessa, I want to ask you this, and we're going to get into the book a little bit, but it seems like one of the things that I enjoy about your writing, whether it's your historical fiction, whether it's your historical romance, is that you're going to educate us. You are going to educate us. You're going to entertain us, but you're also going to educate us. And
Mhm.
there are so many things that we can pull from this. Guys, if you've read A Gamble at Sunset, you are aware that one of these diseases that they are battling is sickle cell anemia. During this time, of course, they didn't have a name for it like we do now. And Vanessa kind of referenced as, it's this blood disease or what have you. But tell us a little bit about that, Vanessa, and why was it important for this story, as this series rather, to kind of highlight on that?
Yeah. One of the things when I was doing research and I figured out that sickle cell anemia is actually an ancient disease. We're talking
Mhm,
about going back to like the BC time frame.
mhm,
And it's today, I've had several cousins that have battled this disease, several cousins that haven't won against this disease. And it's purely pain management. So you
mhm,
think about our circumstances and how much high tech we have. Now go back 200 years where they will drug you with opium and all these sorts of things, thinking that they're thinking that's the way to solve these issues. So it was a little infuriating to realize how long this is plagued.
mhm,
And then you go through and you think about, well, how did they mitigate against this? Well, they ostracized families once it was determined. And so in the first book, the Wilcox family, prosperous at one point, prosperous family, legacy in a coal business, true actually true story to an homage to Caesar Picton, who figured out rich folks don't want to touch coal and hand delivered coal to Mayfair, which is like the wealthiest parts of London. It was able to build a big house. His daughters married very well. Um, but in a Gamble Sunset, you find out that they're living across the Thames. And in A Wager Midnight, we kind of hit on that a little bit more because the black population, particularly the immigrants from Jamaica or Trinidad, et cetera, they're living in Cheapside. And it's because the family has been ostracized. Everybody knows they have the blood disease. Uh,
Wow.
their limbs, and remember, they don't understand, how this all works. They just know that family got some issues. Don't care
Mhm.
how cute them girls are. They got issues,
They got some issues.
you know? And, so you get some of that. And people tend to do that when they don't understand anything, they will ostracize you. So then you go back to Scarlett, our hero, of, A Wager at Midnight. She's seeing all this. She's growing up with this.
Yeah.
And she understands that our community needs medical care, medical
Mhm.
research, but they won't let women do anything. There was, there's a little bit about a year later, there's a big war about having women as midwives at
Yeah.
versus an accoucheur, which is the, you know, uh, British slash French way of having a male doctor. I mean, there
Wow.
are constant, wars going on. So Scarlett,
British.
being Scarlett, is going to go to the nth length to figure things out. So she will even dress up as a man and go to the male only scientific lectures because
Yes.
he is desperate to figure these things out. And no spoil, this is not a spoiler, but she's at an ophthalmology uh, uh, meeting, and she's almost discovered, but Stephen Adam Carew swoops in,
Even.
the fabulous Trinidadian doctor that we meet a little bit in a Gamble at Sunset, swoops in and has to pretend that that is my male cousin. He's just here for a while, and then of course they have to do all the male bonding rituals, hanging out with the other doctors, going to White's, which is a male only, a gentleman's club, and of
Yes.
course Madame Rosebud's brothel, which is another male only establishment. Male entertainment establishment.
So y'all, let's just say with all this foolery, Scarlett, she get, not only is she getting her scientific education, okay, but she's
Mhm.
getting a lot more education on life when she gets to hang out with these guys.
Yeah.
Because they think that she is his male cousin, or what
Yeah.
have you, as
She
well.
learned
And
everything. She learned a lot of stuff. A lot of stuff.
she learns a lot of stuff. Now, Vanessa, I want for you to touch a little bit on that too, because Scarlett, one thing that we can say about her, and I'll let you in a minute share a little bit about her character and her characteristics. But one thing for her is that through her life and things that she had gone through well, I don't want to tell that because that'll be a little bit too much tea that I want you guys to read the books. I won't tell you that, but
We
there
can
are some
give
things that happen. I'll say it this way: there's some things that happen in her life that causes her to just be so gung-ho to help find these cures for these
Mhm.
things, and to look beside the point that the society say I'm a woman, I can't do medicine or what have you, y'all. But
Mhm.
it was deep down rooted in her heart, and she had reasons of why she wanted to
Mhm.
be able to find these cures of these different diseases. And not only that, like Vanessa said earlier, she's found out that a lot of the healthcare for her people, I mean, it was slim pickings, or what have you. But for
Mhm.
you, Vanessa, what was that like for writing Scarlett's character, and why was that so important, or
Mhm.
why is that so important to show that side of history of what she had to go through to actually
Mhm.
get her people treated?
We live in the 21st century kind of things. And, typically if we need to see a doctor, we can see a doctor. And now, we can even have that choice if I want a woman doctor, I want a male doctor, et cetera, et cetera. Well, you couldn't even go to the hospitals. And there were actually hospitals in this time frame, but you
Yeah.
had to have a physician basically sign off that you could be admitted. Well, if you're not able to see a physician in the first place, you're not gonna get to go to the hospital. So
Right.
people are unnecessarily dying. I mean, this is a fever that we would take aspirin for can actually kill you during this time frame.
Wow.
And so she sees the need, and it affects. I will blurt this out. She had a twin. She had a twin brother who dies of a fever,
Mhm.
and she was mopping his brow, and she fell asleep. That's not what killed the young man, her twin, but she feels like that could
Mhm.
have made a difference. So you think about someone growing up with that guilt. I let
Mm-hmm.
my brother down. And then you
Mm-hmm.
realizing, no, it wasn't me who let it down. It was the medical system that let my brother down. What can I do? And she's internalized this where she doesn't, there's a part in Hamilton it was like, my only job is to marry rich. um Scarlett it doesn't care about that.
No,
She'll be an old maid. She does not care. She wants to provide medical care.
she
And so
does.
it was fun writing her because she's a little of an anomaly of this time frame because people are so socially conscious and so wondering what people are whispering about each other and are the scan are whatever's going on in your family is it going to hit the scandal sheets and and you would imagine if you're a black family that's well to do, so you're kind of in the ton. If y'all got a scandal, it's all over the papers. Other people might be able to hush some things up, but your stuff is just glaring because society doesn't want you to have the position that you have.
Wow.
And if they can say that you have been unworthy of this privilege of
Mm-hmm.
being amongst the rarefied air of the ton, they're going to show you. So
Mm-hmm.
they're always looking for a scandal that's affecting these types of families.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
that's why her thing is she don't care. She
Mm-hmm.
don't care if she can save a life if she can figure something out. She don't care if her family goes down. So they was already going down for something that my older sisters have done. It ain't me, and I love that bit of freedom about her that she goes through and then it's a
Right.
perfect match for the hero because he is concerned about everything
Everything.
everything. Stephen Adam Carew is a physician and just to give you all little things physician in the medical scale is like way up here, right? But he started out what they call as a bone doctor or a surgeon.
Mm-hmm.
Basically the more you touch a patient the lower you are on the scale of respectability. So he started out being able to do surgery, fixing bones, pulling teeth, removing cancers and things
Y'all,
like
he
this.
really knows his stuff.
He knows his stuff, but then he didn't stop there. He went to school, so now he is among the learned rarefied air. But he still keeps that connection, so he can do just about all. But he wants to actually open a hospital, but he got these aunts, and I love these aunties.
We gotta talk about the aunties.
The aunties are amazing. I didn't realize how much y'all would be affected by it. So the readers who've read this who know what I'm talking about. The aunties, I had it twisted my head how to bring them back, but they will be back for the next book because y'all love the aunties. I didn't realize how much y'all love the aunties till I started hearing that y'all
Yeah.
really love the aunties. But the aunties just they fabulousness, right? Women in brightly colored clothing. They have means, so they have parties, and they want to match everyone in the community.
Yes.
And they're annoyed when the best and the brightest are stolen by the ton,
Yes.
married into the ton. So the pressure that Stephen feels is because he respects these women. Uh, that sometimes his respect of these women and deferring to them have changed his plans, have made reorders of his plans. And so one of the gripes between Scarlett, who's going to just do it no matter what, and cautious Stephen is this delaying. And why do you wait when you can do so much? There's a nice subtle tension in the background that has more than just their personalities, it's their circumstances in life and their philosophies. And you get two people who kind of want the same thing. They want to bring medicine to the people,
Yeah.
but they're going about it all differently, and there's a lot of conflict.
And Vanessa, I like the fact that you said that they it's kind of like they want the same things, but they're going about it in two different directions. And guys, let me just tell you this: Vanessa has some opposite attract going on here. Okay, it is, oh my goodness, guys, the banter between these two, and even and guys, this is not spilling too much tea, but thinker Dr. Stephen Carew, he's a little stuffy, okay? But he
You're,
has, good old Scarlett that gives him a run for his money because he finds out in a roundabout way, like, he has an aha moment, a light bulb moment, like, I really like her. I am liking her. And guys, the chemistry between these two, Vanessa, I mean, this is a romance. So you gotta tell us a little bit about the chemistry. All I'm gonna say, and I'm just gonna say a little bit, and if Vanessa decides to spill a little bit of tea,
Yeah.
let's just say there is this icy scene. Pineapple icy scene. Okay, that's all I'm
Yes.
gonna say. And they
Yes.
inside the coach. Okay, that's all I'm
Yes.
gonna say.
Yes. Yes.
And Stephen Carew is going through because
Yes.
Scarlett is enjoying this ice cream. Now fill in the
Yes.
blank of this
Okay.
ice.
So they Scarlett and Steven have known each other forever. Steven is the family physician, right? So he's seen her as a teenager, and that she's as a teenager confronting him about medical procedures. He's like, "Girl,
Right.
what you doing? What do you know, girl? What do you know? You
You
know nothing."
know, I'm expert here.
Yeah. So they've had this thing, and it started at the Duke's ball at the end of a wager at sunset. No, see, I'm doing it myself. A gamble at sunset. He sees her all dressed up, not as this tomboyish kind of girl, but
Right.
all dressed up.
And guys, she's looking good. This is a gamble at sunset, guys.
And he's making a beeline to make sure that nobody gets around her. And he's getting, you can kind of, even though that wasn't their book, you could tell he's like, why people look, well, that's Scarlett.
Okay. Look, I see you.
Okay. But at the time, Stephen was courting a young woman, and Stephen is slow. Stephen's real slow. And he thinks he's got to get his practices in line because the aunties are telling him you got to build your practice. Da, 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 da. Don't forget about building that hospital, Stephen. Young man, you got to you have to build up your practice, and you marry this woman. She's beautiful. This is the woman you want to marry. But she gets tired of waiting, and she runs off and marries someone else. And Scarlett comforts him, but at the same time, he's sitting here saying he wants a demure woman, respectful. And Scarlett's like, well, that ain't me.
That ain't me.
So she's
like, well, I'm out the running because that ain't me.
out the running. She's like, I am done with this fool. I'm gonna go about my business, right? Because she had a crush on him, like
She
as
did.
teenagers would, and he's hot. So it's very respectful. But when the book really gets going, she's about 21 now. She's very much an adult, and he notices she's not talking to him anymore, and he want to know what's going on. So he's been like sort of chasing her around, and she's been avoiding him. And the only time they actually get to spend it when she's dressed up as a guy. So you got all these layers of foolery into this. And one of the things they used to do was he used to take her to get an ice. So that's the fancy desserts that they had during the thing. And they would get them in, they'd be like banana flavored and pineapple flavored and all these different flavors, but like an ice. And they would shape these ice, right? So you would get a bunny or a frog or a banana. So she's just in there licking her banana, her pineapple flavored banana, in front of this guy who's figuring out, wait a minute, I like her. And why is this now slightly interesting? The way her mouth is moving and the way she is enjoying this banana ice. So yeah, you get to have a little fun.
Guys, as you can see, yes, you will have fun reading this book. If you're just joining us, we're hanging out with author Vanessa Riley. Guys, let me tell you, if you have not gotten your hands on A Wager at Midnight, what are you waiting for? It is a page turner. Okay, it is a tell a friend type of read. It is a Regency of Regency romance. You will want to read this book as well. But Vanessa, I want to talk a little bit about, because the Duke is back, guys. The Duke is in this book as well, and you know that family is important in this book and in this series as well. But I want to talk a little bit about the Duke's relationship with Scarlett, because he is so rooting for her and her education and all of those things too. Can you tell us a little bit about that and what's the importance or the significance of the relationship that the Duke has with Scarlett?
So I'll break another spoiler. So at the end of a Gamble at Sunset, Scarlet, bright Scarlet, has figured out, why does this man have all this pain medication lying around like the alcohol bottles that they would normally have sitting around? So she
Yeah.
figured out that he has the blood disease.
Yeah.
And so she's determined to fix him. She's going to save him. And he gives her he's very lenient. So he allows her to go to these medical these research, but he has his man, Mr. Steele. Mr. Steele goes with her everywhere, but Mr. Steele has an assignment that he has to
Look,
go do.
somebody got to be watching out for her.
So that's why he basically the Duke forces Dr. Carew, Stephen, to go babysit, so to speak, Scarlet, to make sure no trouble happens. So that's how this foolery all starts. But
Yeah.
Scarlet, you know, he's probably one of the first and few who just believes in her, believes in her intellect.
Yeah.
And he's actually admires the fact that she's blackmailing him a little bit. You know, he likes that gumption in somebody, right? So he's indulgent. So she needs specialized tools to do certain things. He gets them for her. She needs access to different papers. He gets them for her. And once again, he's allowing her to, because she's supposed to, in this arrangement that they currently have, they have to stay at his house. The sisters have agreed to stay at his house for certain days during the week, and then they go back over to the Thames. And so when she's supposed to be allegedly staying over there, he's letting her run wild in the streets, do what she needs to do this medical research. They grow very close. It's a very brother sister kind of relationship. And so there's a bet started in book 1 where the Duke, none of these are spoilers, the Duke is in love with Catherine. And they go back. They got some history. And that history you find in book 1, you get more of it in book 2, but they're the background story. And because of this thing with Catherine can't stand him. Catherine, Lady Hampton wants him out of their lives, but they're in such a financial strait that they actually need help. So he says, I will fix all this sort of stuff. And if I know your sisters better than you, because I've spent time, which is a pretty obnoxious statement, I've spent time with them a whole year and a half. I know them better
Yeah.
than you. I can choose them husbands. And she's like, you are crazy, but I'm going to take your bed and your money.
Right.
So if he's right, then she's supposed to be his mistress for 6 months because she refuses to marry him.
Right.
And she's had a allegedly married once, the disastrous marriage. She's not doing that again. And the Duke was like, hey, 6 months is better than nothing. So he goes along with it. But now when you put that in the context of him having the blood disease, 6 months could be an eternity.
Right.
So, he's gun ho on this. But and Scarlett's like, look, I know you want my sister. You pick. As long as this man lets me do my research, I don't care who you pick.
Yeah.
And now by doing that, that means he's automatically going to win the bet, right?
Right.
But the Duke cares for her so much, he's going to make sure it's a right match. He's not just going to do something just to win. He's going to make sure it's the right match. And he's been watching these two together, and he knows they are a great pair together.
Yes.
But they have to got
to get them to see it, that they are a great pair together. I love that. And guys, that is a part of the journey of the book, of the two of them finally realizing that they are a great match. So their little song and dance to get there, it's a journey. Okay, it's a journey. Now, Vanessa, before you share a little short snippet with us, I want to talk to you because you have some interesting chapter titles or what have you. So I want to find out, what was that like for you? Like, you got On Your House, Vixen or Brat, Chasing the One That Got Away, Aunties of Cheapside. I mean, these titles of these chapters, tell us a little bit about that, and what was that like for you with adding these title to the chapters before you started?
I'm not where I picked that up. There's some romance book in the past that it was so funny to me. You would see these crazy titles of the chapters, but it would be relevant to whatever's going on. So that is somewhat of my trademark now. So in the Duke the Lady and Baby series, which is Rogue's Remarkable Women, all the chapters have a crazy
Crazy
subtitle,
title.
but it's relevant. And so, like, you read off some of my favorites. Like this is one. It's chapter 2. Scarlet Wilcox. Men are stupid.
And guys, let me just tell you, the chapters kind of just give you a little foresight about what these chapters are going to be about. And guys, you will have an amazing time enjoying A Wager at Midnight. I know I enjoyed A Wager at Midnight. Oh my goodness, Vanessa had me on the edge of my seat. I just couldn't wait. And it was like, guys, I kind of read it in segments. I mean, I read it in order, but I kind of read it in segments. It almost reads like this soap opera. Okay, it reads like this soap opera as well. And Vanessa, my friend, it is your time to shine and to share just a
Let
little
me
bit.
ask
Just
you, what section did you like? Because there's one I kind of read, but I think I've read that enough, and that's the Kendrick Lamar illusion. I've read that one a couple times. What did you like?
I, well, Vanessa, I loved it all. I wish I knew which chapter about that little icy scene, but
I see it. Okay.
since we don't hype them up about that
Okay.
as well. Or do you have handy when his I love Steven's driver. Okay, Steven's driver. Okay, he first of all he borderline messy. Okay, but he keeps Steven in line. He definitely keeps him in line, but he also kind of like tell it like it is. Like when Steven needs that dose of reality, he's kind of that person to give him the dose of reality. But he does love he loves Steven. He wants what's best for him, but he kind of helps him kind of like bring him back to reality or what have you. So any scene with the driver as well that is super fun. So whatever you want to share, Vanessa, is
Okay.
fine.
So the name of this chapter is this is Scarlet, the physician's carriage. So this I think is your favorite here. He goes, his driver stops and then comes to the window. Yes, Mr. Carew? Benny, head to Gunter's. We will remain in the carriage while you order pineapple ices. Then we'll take our treats to Anya house. And Anya house is the Duke's house. Because he's like, I can get this woman safely back to the Duke so I don't get in trouble.
Yes.
All right.
Right.
Yes, sir, Mr. Carew. Benny stares at me. You're right. She's much prettier without all the paint. He walks away. Stephen still has his hand behind me. Now tell me who has cataracts. You've been working hard to help someone. No one can ever say Stephen Adam Carew isn't smart. Let's get the ices first. You know I'm much easier to bribe with sweets. I remember when it didn't take a bribe to get you to talk to me, Scarlet. Even when we fought, I knew you cared. You've been easy with me. Then something changed. The man is literally inches away from holding me in an embrace and kissing me. A real kiss, not just a bump in the night. And if he did, and if he did, him doing so in his right mind would mean something. But he doesn't. His hand absently plays with my fingers along the seat. Stephen is clueless. I have to realize he'll never become wise when it comes to my heart. I shrug. Things change. Fine, sweets, then talk. He shakes his head. Deal. I guess you don't catch fly with vinegar. I'm not an insect, but at least this imagery gives me wings and agency. I can do what I please and buzz and annoy Stephen if I'll always be a mosquito and no see him that he can't actually see.
Guys, there you go. That is a little snippet of A Wager at Midnight. And guys, one thing that I do enjoy at the beginning of the book, because there are a lot of characters, and even if you haven't read the first one, again, by Sunset, Vanessa sets you up right. At the beginning of the book, she has the characters and she has other names or distinctions as well. Just a snippet for you at the beginning of the book, too, in case you need to know who those particular characters are. Guys, let me just tell you, you are in for a treat. I need you to run, not walk, and get you a copy of A Wager at Midnight. Vanessa, they are enjoying the snippet that you read. Carolyn said that was so good. Carolyn also said, she was like, oh, and Letitia said, sounds good. Thanks for sharing as well. Jennifer said that she loved that snippet
Thank you.
as well. And guys, oh my goodness, the time goes by so fast. But I do want to ask Vanessa this particular question before we do the giveaway. She's going to share what the giveaway is going to be. But Vanessa, when you think about all the characters that make up A Wager at Midnight, which character for you was exciting, interesting, borderline fun and exciting for you to write? And then which character was a little more complex in this one? Because in this particular book, guys, a little more of the truth is unfolded. And then a lot of the truth is unfolded in this book. So it's like the plot thickens. So for
Never
you,
miss. If y'all think that a Vanessa Riley epilogue is just gonna be like they're married and it's happily ever, don't do that. Don't
oh,
make
don't
that
do it,
mistake.
guys. I need
Don't
you
make
to
that mistake.
read the epilogue. Okay,
Epilogue.
well, read the book, but read the epilogue because it goes down in the epilogue. I've had a conversation with Vanessa because I was pulling my heartstrings and I was just like, oh my goodness, Vanessa. But for you, Vanessa, which character, and it could be more than one, that was
Mhm.
interesting, borderline fun for you to write, and then at the same time, which character was a little more complex in A Wage at Midnight?
You know, Lydia is fun to write because she's
I
adorable
do.
and she says those things that like in Kid Logic, right? She's like, like there's a scene in there where she's like, Scarlett, just tell him you love him. I told the Duke he loved me, and he got me a pony. I mean, so she is adorable, but she's actually hard to write too because, well, she's like 5. How much do you, how expressive? How much are you
Yeah,
absorbing at that? So there's some complexity, but she is, to me, it's so much fun to write her because you get that childlike joy, unfiltered or smashed down by expectations. So she's like
yeah,
what those women were before life said you have to do this, you have to be this, and all those sort of
yeah.
things. So I love having Lydia's perspective. Um, the Duke is interesting to write, and he's going to be more interesting in the next book.
Mm.
Because if you're paying attention, he might be going into crisis by the end of the book.
Mhm.
And I love realism, and I want to honor those who have suffered. It's not a quick, oh, I'm healed and I'm walking around the next day. So
No.
that, chronic illness is a thing. I think we feel it maybe not as sickle cell anemia today, but chronic illness is real. And
Mhm.
and what does that feel like? What is that in a book? And
Mhm.
so spotlighting the next one is called A Deal at Dawn. And that is going to be Lady Hampton and the Duke's story. Now, the hardest to write is Lady Hampton because
Wow.
y'all hate her right now. Y'all been hating on her. And when a black woman is hated, it's hard to come back. And so that is a challenge for me. And it's one that's how this series is set up. Because there's a reason why she's been difficult to the Duke. There's a reason why, she won't accept that he's a good guy, or she can't
Yeah.
accept that
Yeah.
she's a good,
Mhm.
because there's a point where you believe you're so right until you realize you were so wrong.
You
How do
were
you come
so
back from
wrong.
that? Yes. How do you come back from that? Sometimes
Yeah.
there's no way to come back. Oh,
Yeah.
I just see Jennifer. Yeah, like I said, and so if you know someone who is suffering from
Mhm.
sickle cell anemia or who has passed on, who is close to you, I want you to message me. If you look in my if you look in the what do you call it? The dedication to the book. My cousins are here. There was a reader whose son had just passed away. He is in here. Thomas White. It was so I'm adding names. So if you have names, Jennifer, send me your sister's name because there are people who are fighting this fight right now.
Mhm.
and I will put their names in the book. Because once again, when I figured out that sickle cell anemia is this ancient disease, and there are cures, guys, that are coming up, but they're millions of dollars a treatment. Um, Last time I checked, we ain't got millions of dollars for everybody who is, and it's only that expensive because they haven't done the research to bring it down.
Mm-hmm.
And this is one of those things where you've got, there are certain investments that have to happen, but you don't invest if you're not aware that it's out there. And so this is just a way to bring additional spotlighting of this disease, but do it in a way that's not depressing, right?
Yeah.
This is not romance and depression, right?
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
This
Yeah.
is, and spoiler alert, guys, it's a romance. We know that we know how this go in.
Yeah, there's gonna be a happily ever after at the end, guys. And like I said before,
happily ever for now.
Oh yeah.
Because realism, right? But that's sort of my mission. And I think you guys have seen every September is sickle cell anemia awareness. I wear my red bows. I encourage everybody to wear red bows to donate to organizations. On my website, there's the 3 top organizations that I know of that are doing research or supporting the families that are affected by this. But I think I'm very privileged to have a position where I can write about the things that are important to me. Mm-hmm. And this is important. And being able to spotlight it, even in a fun and humorous way, to be able to spotlight it and to show that even if you have a chronic illness, you still deserve a happy ever after.
Yeah.
You still deserve to be loved and understood. And you still have to navigate this world. So you get to see all those different pieces in this series.
I love that. And Vanessa, they did catch you spilling the tea, talking about the next book in the series, which is Catherine and the Duke's story, guys. Adil and Don. So definitely, you can start pre-ordering it. Can they start pre-ordering it? Okay, I want to make sure. I want to speak too soon.
They should. No, it's not up yet. They have. Okay. I have not seen the cover. I have no idea what this cover is going to look like. Right. So,
well, gosh, she's really spilled the tea then. So to make a note,
but I know the title.
Make a note.
The title. Deal it, Don. Join my newsletter. It's on my website, VanessaRiley.com. I think the About tab. Subscribe to my newsletter. You guys, the newsletter folks, are the first to know everything. So whether it be about movies or anything fun or interesting, you go to my website, join it, you get all the good stuff. But so once I know, y'all will see. Maybe Angela, you'll have me back. We'll do a cover review.
Of course. I love it. Guys, A Wager at Midnight is available now. It's an ebook. It's available in print. It's also available in audio. So everything that suits your fancy, you can get it. And speaking of audio, Vanessa Riley has a giveaway. I know what the giveaway is going to be, but I'm going to let her share what her giveaway is going to be tonight.
Yes. So I am allowing the fair Angela to give away 2 audiobook copies through audiobooks.com. And she will pick the winners. She will figure out what those winners, the criterias and all that good stuff. She'll figure all that out, and not me, because I finally mailed all the packages out. I've got nobody I owe right now. I ain't going back.
I'm going to get you to help me. I'm just going to go up and down the comment section. You're going to tell me when to stop. And then we're going to do that twice. And 2 individuals will receive an audiobook. We said audiobook. Y'all know my audiobook girly.
I know people watch your show even after. So pick one now and then go back and look and pick somebody like within 24 hours. So that way you get 2 hits.
Okay. So according to Vanessa, I'm going to pick one now, and then I'll go back in the comment section and see if some more people, and I'll do another one. But for now, Vanessa is going to tell me when to stop, and that person will be the winner. Okay, Vanessa, I'm ready when you are.
Keep going. Stop.
Okay. Carolyn, she said, ooh, nice. So Carolyn, if you will inbox me your email information, I will get you a copy, I will get you instructions of how to obtain your audiobook copy of A
Mhm,
Wager at Midnight. And then
mhm,
I will
mm,
go back through the comments a little bit later to give some people a chance to watch the replay. And we
mhm.
will pick another winner of that too. So congratulations, Carolyn, as well. Vanessa, thank you so much, my friend, for hanging out
Thank
with us,
you. Thank you for
talking about
having
A
me.
Wager at Midnight. It has been amazing hanging out with you. And of course, I want for you to share what have you enjoyed. It can be from doing the tour, talking about A Wager at Midnight. It could be what you enjoyed about writing A Wager at Midnight. Share that with us here at the cafe.
I think, like I said, I love, the reaction folks have had to the aunties. There's a bit of cultural pride, in seeing that, and, typical Regencies is Mayfair, the Ton, and seeing this wealthy kind of middle class blacks or as they call them blackamoors in that time frame and what they were doing and how they were organizing themselves, to me that has been wonderful. But then, like I said, there are people who are suffering or have family members who said thank you, um, for spotlighting this. um, they don't see themselves, it's another
Mhm.
thing, you don't actually see um, anybody spotlighting this chronic illness, this disease. So, especially in a historical context.
Mhm.
So it's to me, it's been great. Readers are. I love readers. I love what they take away and what they think about. And I'm privileged. I'm very privileged to be able to write these stories, and I will never, ever, 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 ever take that for granted. And that's just, it's part of the journey and I love it.
Well, Vanessa, thank you so much. Thank you so much for giving us a gamble at sunset, guys, which is available now. Thank you so much for bringing us A Wager at Midnight. And we are thanking you in advance for soon, 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 guys. We will get I just
A
forgot
deal,
it.
a deal of dawn.
A deal at dawn. A deal at dawn. So, guys, we started with sunset. We went to midnight, and it's gonna be dawn for the third book in this particular series as well. And Vanessa,
Mhm.
of course, my friend, you have to share with the people how can they get their hands on a copy. And we also know that you can get it from Riches and Reading. I will put that link in
Mhm.
the comment section. But Vanessa, if you can share, where else can they get their hands on a copy of A Wager at Midnight?
Any bookstore. You roll into any bookstore, they should be able to order it for you. On my website, I have my indies, my special indie stores. Go, please support the indies. They are amazing. They are awesome. And just any black indie bookstores, they need everybody. This is some weirdness we got going on in the economy, so support your local, shop local. Everybody can get it. They can order the book and get it to you. um yeah, that's pretty much it's pretty much anywhere
I
you can
love
get the
it. Well,
book.
guys, go out, get you a copy of A Wager at Midnight. And of course, after you
Ooh,
read it,
and your
guys,
library
definitely make
people,
sure
go
you
to your library. If they don't have it, make them
yes,
order the
the
series.
library as well. Ask your library, and this is National Library Week, all that good stuff
Mhm.
as well. So go to your local library. You can request a copy there if they don't have it. You can get it from your library as well. And of course, Vanessa, you did share with us your website where they can sign up to your newsletter. But how else can they stay connected with you, my friend?
Oh, if you go, Instagram is usually my playground. I post a lot over there on Instagram, so you'll get me cooking. You'll get to all kind of levels of fashion, foolery, and insight into the book world. I have a podcast on Substack called Rite of Passage, where I'm talking about the culture and relating it back to history, and just trying to encourage folks to get out there and write their story and to preserve their story before it's erased.
I
So,
love it, guys. Definitely stay connected with Vanessa Riley. Go get a copy of her book. And on her website, guys, you can definitely see her backlist, all of that good stuff as well. There's other books in the series. She has historical fiction books that you guys can go and enjoy as well. Vanessa, it has been amazing hanging out with you on today, talking about A Wager at Midnight. Oh, my goodness. We've had so much fun. We spilled a little bit of tea, all of that good stuff as well. And of course, before we end, I have to allow you, my friend, to have the last words of what you want to say to the people.
well, people, thank you. Thank you, Angela, for having me here. Thank you guys for supporting me, for reading my books, for telling people. Please go out, tell 5 people about these very interesting takes on history that are different, that are funny, that are engaging, that are bringing back topical issues to our mind. I appreciate it. All of us in historical fiction and, that are trying to preserve history, we need you. We need your help. So please do that. And once again, thank you from the bottom of my heart for all that you guys do. All you lovely readers out there, we love you.
I love it, guys. There you have it. The one and only Vanessa Riley again talking about A Wager at Midnight. That's our show for today, guys. It's been amazing. Of course, you can stay connected with me. You can subscribe to my YouTube channel, Angela Anderson's YouTube. Not only that, guys, every Friday, myself, Vanessa Riley, Pat Simmons, Fun Friday with the Girls. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, Fun Friday with the Girls, every Friday at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 5 p.m. Central Standard Time. It is unscripted, laugh out loud fun that you can hang out with us. And we talk about a little bit of everything. And there's laughter as well. So we're going to leave on that note, get a copy of A Wager at Midnight. And as I always say, have an amazing day because we're having an amazing day. And until next time, we'll see you guys later. Don't forget, get a copy of A Wager at Midnight. Bye-bye.
Bye.